What's up, my dudes? Valkyrja, and today we're going to be talking about Ayato and how he stacks up against current competition, and is Ayato going to be good, etc. I want to go ahead and put a little spoiler alert right now for you guys, so you guys don't go through this getting your hopes up, getting your hopes extremely high, hoping I'm going to be praising the heavens. Ayato is okay. Ayato is going to be a very good DPS, but he's not going to be great. He's not going to be the likes of Hu Tao, Ganyu, etc. He's not going to be at that level because his single target damage is not really there. He doesn't have the scalings to back any of his stuff up. But I do think he's still going to be a fantastic DPS, especially if you pair him with Venti and you're on something that needs a lot of wave clear. But whenever it comes to just terms of raw damage, I don't think he can compete with the current cast we have, like the likes of Hu Tao and Ganyu, for example. So let's get into it. We're not going to be talking about his normal attacks. You guys can see he has crit damage as ascendancy. I don't need to talk about all that too much because I'm sure you guys know what all that means. But I don't need to talk about his normal attacks. He has really good scaling on his charged attack damage, but you're not really going to be doing that too much because I don't think anybody's going physical Ayato. So I want to talk about his skill instead, and keep in mind I'm not a theory crafter. I do not do the math. This is all just based off of what I think, based off experience, play experience, and stuff like that. One good thing he has access to is actually Kazuha. He's going to have access to Kazuha. Kazuha can buff the Hydro damage, which is going to be pretty nice, but odds are you're going to be really using it with Venti. Still, he gets access to very distant, very near, so he may be doing more or less damage. I think I'm going to be right around in the ballpark, though. I think I'm going to be able to give you guys some accurate numbers with really good artifacts, etc. So he's going to be doing somewhere between, in my opinion, 20k, somewhere around 20k a hit on his Shinsuiken. I think he's going to be doing somewhere around like 20k per hit. He's going to do 1, 2, 3, hit very, very quickly, and big AoE arcs. Where I get these numbers is if I go to Eula's page, you guys can see Eula is about almost double his multipliers for the most part, 177, 184. This one looks to be around like 230, 222, 280. So Eula's around double his multipliers, so that's what I've been using to kind of compare. Because I know my Eula's hits by heart because I've been playing her for so damn long. So I can assume that he's going to be around 20 to 23k on the top end per hit. That's where I think he's going to be at. And I think it's pretty respectable. I don't think it's anything crazy. Given how fast he attacks, I think it has a lot of room for improvement. It's not even counting any pyro damage or vaporized shenanigans, but from what I heard, rumor on the grapevine is his ICDs are not that good, that he is not going to be able to constantly proc, but he's going to be able to just sit there and kind of go nuts, so that's kind of cool. But whenever it comes to like Hu Tao's doing like something like, I don't know, 60 to 70k a charge attack, or like Eula with her million ult pops, or like Ganyu who's doing like 60 to 80k arrow. I think that yes, he's going to attack extremely quickly, but he's going to kind of lose out in the end because he's not going to have access to the reactions they do because he's based on fast attacks. And you're mostly going to want, if you want to pump out DPS with him, you're mostly going to be running kind of mono team, or you're going to want freeze to hold him in place. But you really want to pair him with Venti because Venti is going to give the suck that he needs. Because if he can hit multiple targets, very similar vein to Child, his damage is going to skyrocket because he's hitting multiple targets. He has very wide arcing hits. That's going to help out a lot with this. But in the end, his damage just genuinely isn't there to really compete. Now, am I saying he's a bad unit, that if you get him, you won't be able to beat the game? No, the game is very easy. Get who you like. I'm just looking at things from a total perspective and basically commenting what I see, and what I see is not that great multipliers. But I do think he's still going to be a fantastic unit. I think he's going to be perfectly fine. It's just he's not going to be able to compete with the big hitters. Now we get into the mystery of his ult, and I say the mystery because yes, his ult gives very good things like normal attack damage bonus. It has duration and cooldown very similar to Ganyu's, and damage a little bit worse than Ganyu's, and energy cost. So let's flip over to Ganyu's ult really quick. You can see Ganyu as much higher, as a shorter duration, but her duration matches the cooldown and is 60 cost with a higher multiplier. So Ayato has a lower multiplier, but he gives a normal attack damage bonus because he's meant to pop this and then go into his Shinsuiken. So, or Shunsweeken. I'm very bad at pronouncing this stuff. Don't hate me. But basically, it's kind of a worse Ganyu ult. That's basically all there is to it. There's not really much going on here. It's just a big AoE, rains down water droplets that deal 120% every single hit. The only difference is if we go over to Ganyu's page, whenever it comes to Ganyu, is Ganyu has this multiplier to back up her damage. She has the Frost Flake arrow damage, which is 230% plus 392% because it's a double proc. That makes it somewhere around 600%. It's kind of crazy. Well, it's actually, yeah, it's around 600. Yeah, it's around 600%. It's kind of nuts. So it makes it so Ayato is really going to be behind in terms of just raw damage output. But what he's going to lack in damage output, he's going to be able to make up for really quick, consistent damage that you probably, in my opinion, if you're wanting to run like an Ayato DPS option, you really want to pair him with like another Hydro, I think, for battery, or Venti. Venti will also help battery. A lot of people forget about Venti's battery functions, but before Raiden Shogun, Venti was the primo battery because of his passive. But I think you're going to want to pair him with either another Hydro or Venti, and then throw him in a freeze team to try to just wail away at whatever it is you're fighting. I don't think he's going to be the next end-all be-all in terms of damage. I don't think his damage is going to like melt people's minds. But I do think he's still going to be able to put up respectable numbers, and I think he's going to have decent clear times because his damage or his multipliers are pretty decent. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're amazing. I think they're okay. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Very similar to Yaimiko. I think having okay units, like great units, is fine. I don't think MiHoYo's plan on reverse power creeping, whatever their plan is, to where the new units coming aren't absolutely broken. I think the new units coming out okay is perfectly fine. Maybe people disagree with me on that. Maybe people don't like me saying that their husbando isn't going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But I'm just telling you guys what I see, and what I see is pretty okay multipliers. I don't see anything crazy at all. I think he's going to be just a fantastic unit overall, though, because one, he's extremely cool looking, and yes, that is a big factor to consider whenever you're pulling for a unit in a game, Genshin Impact, because this game is incredibly easy outside of floor 12. Floor 12 is the only spot where you pull from meta, and if you can already clear floor 12, then I think he's a fantastic get just because he looks so damn cool. But outside of that, yeah, I don't think he's going to be breaking the bank, or I don't think he's going to be absolutely crushing anybody else in terms of damage. I think he's going to be an okay unit. That's pretty much it. Anyways, that's the video. Just wanted to talk about Ayato and talk about his numbers and give you guys actual numbers. Now that beta is basically over, and odds are these are not changing, but do keep in mind these numbers are 100% subject to change. These are not representative of MiHoYo's final product. They can change. Who knows? I don't know. Just want to let you guys know what I think. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.